Hey everybody, welcome to Over 50 Starting Over. I'm Barry Edwards.
And I'm Merle Garrison.
And we got something of a special episode today. It's probably not a surprise that we're going to dedicate this episode to Charlie Kirk. And awful lot has gone on in America in these short couple of days, and want to discuss that. Really pull it apart from many different angles. We lost a national treasure, and one of the first things out of my mouth was, "Wow, this is on par with MLK Jr." I think I texted you that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel the same way about that. It's like that, or how growing up we would always hear, "Oh, where were you during when the JFK assassination happened?" This is kind of that, and this is important. The national consciousness. We used to have events where pretty much everybody in the country would see something at the same time, whether it was the Olympics or it was Princess Di getting married. Everybody saw it. Today, it's not like that. Everybody's watching something different. It used to be 3 channels on TV that everybody watched. It's not like that. There's no common national conscience anymore. But what happened 2 days ago to Charlie Kirk, everyone saw at the same time. It was one of the most heinous, darkest, most gruesome things I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, I still haven't watched that. I'm not ready yet. Not ready.
And you've heard about it. You've heard the details. People have detailed it out. Most of us have seen it. It's gruesome. It's like a big slap in the face. Wake up! This is where we are on the map, and and we all saw that. So, what are the implications of everybody seeing something like that in America at the same time?
That's a really good question, and that's a big part of what my notes is answering that as we're watching it unfold in many different ways, and we can only predict what's going to stick in the end, because I think our gut reaction is always fear and anger. That's natural.
Yes.
And with that, we immediately get shoved a bunch of TikTokers in our face that are celebrating his death, which is just
sickening.
I don't have words for it. It's beyond that. It's so repulsive.
It's diabolical. Like, what kind of person could you be to have that much insensitivity towards human suffering? Whether you like Charlie Kirk or not, he left behind a wife and 2 little beautiful kids. You don't have any compassion for that? I mean, are you a human being? That's what I was wondering. I got a question about humanity when I saw that.
Oh, yeah. We're on the right track, but you know what? We really should back up just a tiny bit here and explain who Charlie Kirk is to us and just in general. And it made me think of it because you said left behind his wife and 2 kids, and that's the most important thing here.
Right
Lisa, you know what? Remind me towards the end for the lighter side to show you some videos. Lisa and I did our annual trip to Patterson's Fruit Farm for our fall decor and things like that. It had a beautiful day. It's finally been gorgeous here in Cleveland, and I want to share some videos of that with you. Short, but I think we'll need it. And my point, what brought that up is as we were driving, we were talking about this and just said, man, what are those daughters going through today? Trying, and his wife trying to figure out how to handle that. When, dude, you can't even comprehend the reality, the finality that you will never see your husband again alive. It takes a long time to process that. And then you have, I'm speaking from his wife's point of view right now, and you have the additional responsibility of trying to process process that correctly for your daughters. And oh my God, if you've ever seen any of the video footage of him, which Lisa tells me any picture, any video you ever see of his daughters, they're always facing, backward facing, because you don't want their faces on camera. For some very
That's
smart reason.
interesting. Yeah, that is very, very smart, especially in hindsight.
When you look at this picture right here, and I know most of you are listening, but we have just the best picture. It looks like a birthday picture of the whole family. Charlie and his wife holding the two daughters. And
look at the expression on Charlie's face of just satisfaction. I mean, that's a happy man right there.
Yeah.
That's a complete man.
Yeah.
You know, there's that rom-com movie where it's like, you complete me. That was the romantic thing.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
As good as it gets.
And here it is. Like, you see how these people, look at the two of them. They're complete right there. They really represent an American family the way it should be. And really, you know, you've got a strong husband. He's taking care of the family. He's taking care of business. He loves that wife. He loves those children. The wife is taking care as well. She's taking care of him, making sure all that work he's doing. She's taking care of him and taking care of those beautiful kids. And God knows what else she does. And imagine, you know, I'm sure this is shocking for her, but it can't be that much of a surprise. I know that they've talked about this kind of thing. And what if it were to happen? He got death threats all the time. He knew what he was up against. So did she. And they chose to do it anyway. The courage this man had.
Okay, I don't have this written down. I want to do a little bit more of this intro for Charlie. Chime in.
I have something that Turning
please.
Point USA had written. It's kind of long, but I there's one paragraph I thought this would be appropriate to read.
I'll add my thoughts to it as you go.
Yeah, I had it up, and now it's, of course.
Well, I could start. I'll just say, okay, so he was 31 years old. He started out very young on the college circuit. His claim to fame was touring campuses, college campuses without a college education.
That was the best part.
And setting up a table and a tent and saying, challenge me.
Prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. And people would come up to the microphone, ask him questions, debate him, and he, with literal common sense, what he did, in my opinion, I'd say his best legacy, and I got three, maybe his best legacy, arguably, is pointing out the corruption of the educational system, the need for reform. It's an indoctrination system, and these kids were just, who thought, as we all did in college, that we knew everything. And really were very mal-educated, and that was really shone a light on that. The other two things I'll say that, in my opinion, that he should be known for, statues erected for, is free speech.
Yes,
we can talk about this going forward. I think that's a tricky one because I'm a free speech absolutist, and that's a very difficult thing to be. There are hard things that you have to accept if you really believe that. And the third thing I have, from my point of view, is open debate. That the absolute importance of open debate, because an open dialogue, and I wanted to come into this today and not stoke the fires of divide more than they are. That's
right.
Where we got, that's why we're here.
That is right. That's exactly right.
But we will also have to address that there's been some really faulty programming going on the left that has embraced violence, anti-free speech, censorship, and the closing down of debate in just every way possible, from bullhorns to those loud horns with megaphones, blocking people from coming to college campuses, and everything they can do on social media to destroy people, censor them, and cancel them. All of this it's heinous. It's childish. It's the misguided kids of our youths, if you think back when we were kids, the misguided kids with really bad parenting, and now they were taught, they were given this tool called "say you're oppressed," and
Well, it's
away we
it,
go, and here
it,
we are.
you're exactly right, though. I mean, the whole oppressed versus the oppressor,
Yeah,
it's a
white
communist.
supremacy.
It's the core of
It's the core
communism,
of it.
actually. And
Yeah.
when you see it, you should know that that's what it is, because if you don't know, it's easy to be manipulated into this with complete ignorance. In fact, not that you're dumb, but they call you a useful idiot that way.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Let me just read this. This is from Turning Point USA. It's just a
His
segment from them.
company.
Of
Can you
course,
explain
Turning
that a little
Point
bit?
USA is the company that Charlie Kirk founded when he was 18 years old.
He
He
did that young? Oh
Yeah,
my
he
God.
started it when he was 18 years old out of his garage without a cent. He did this on pure motivation. You know what? I feel like maybe I should read the whole thing
Okay,
now.
yeah, yeah.
This is from Turning Point USA. They are located here in Scottsdale, Phoenix.
I didn't know that.
Charlie is a homeboy here for
I didn't know
Phoenix.
that.
We are all devastated. So many of my friends here are associated with Turning Point USA. So this has been a devastating week for us, for me, my friends, my family. This is very close to home, literally. It says here, this is Turning Point putting this out. Every one of us at Turning Point USA is crushed and devastated by the hateful murder of our founder and guiding light, Charlie Kirk. All of us have lost a leader, a mentor, and a friend. Above all, our hearts are with Erica and their two children. Charlie was the ideal husband and the perfect father. Above else, we ask you to pray for the Kirks after the incomprehensible loss they have suffered. More than anyone, Charlie believed in the power of argument and good faith debate to find the truth and guide people towards, if not agreement, then at least mutual understanding. Boy, he sure did do that. Charlie was no stranger to threats. He received thousands throughout his life, but he always prioritized reaching as many young Americans as possible over his own personal safety. Now, Charlie has become America's greatest martyr to the freedom of speech he so adored. In
Mm.
his 31 years, Charlie lived more than any of us will in 100. He had an overwhelming passion for life and a deep belief in his power as an individual to make a difference. With the spirit of a pioneer, Charlie launched Turning Point out of his parents' garage as an 18-year-old with no money, no name recognition, only a dream. His energy and drive were awe-inspiring, without equal, and deeply infectious. Charlie refused to squander a single day of his life. He was a natural builder and problem solver and loved a challenge and saw every setback as a chance to learn, grow, and pray and try again. He was fundamentally decent, always eager to make new friends and allies to support and defend the ones he had already made. His values were timeless, American ones: honesty, forthrightness, duty, loyalty, and fair play. Charlie loved America, its people, its Constitution, its freedom, and the limitless good all of them have done for the world. But above all, Charlie lived every day with an overwhelming love for Christ he knew he would one day get to see. When asked, Charlie said that above all, he wished to be remembered for his faith. Far more than any political victory, Charlie wanted to see a spiritual revival among America's youth. He wanted a nation of happy, thriving families who loved God and each other. At his final public speech, just days before his murder, Charlie witnessed to Christ to an audience of non-believers. Even in his very last moments, Charlie was professing the gospel. He ran his race well, all the way to the end. Now he goes to his heavenly reward. Though Charlie is gone, his legacy will endure. He shall not grow old. Age shall not weary. For all time he will remain brave young man who inspired tens of millions of Americans to better themselves and take action to better America. All of us will miss Charlie. None of us will ever forget him.
That
Wow,
was
that
really
was
good. I really appreciate you finding that. That was really well said. As you read that, you know what I was thinking? I would love to hear from his parents. I would like to know their story. Like they got to be really solid people, man. I would
yeah.
really I don't know if he has
They did a
brothers and
good job, right?
sisters. I
He
would
has a
just
sister, I'm
I
told.
would love to see an interview with them, maybe bring in a neighbor or a cousin, whoever else he was close with. I would love to know about his upbringing. I really
I
would.
mean, can you imagine like trying to raise a Charlie Kirk? If I mean, they must have been like, "Holy cow, he's doing this now. What is he doing
Well,
now? Oh my gosh, there's a huge crowd outside."
kind of to my point is we talked about him recently on a podcast just a couple ago or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, great interview with Tucker
Tucker.
Carlson. Yeah, about the state of Gen Z. Very, very profound.
There's two things I want to say to that. First of all, growing up, the reason I wanted, like, did they recognize this guy? Like, he had a photographic memory slash
They
genius,
had to.
whatever it was. Like, dude, he, at 31 years old, the amount of knowledge that he had on the top of, at his fingertips, in his head,
Right.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Best
Now,
debater I've ever seen. Can pull information like he's like at the most powerful computer in the world. No one could out debate him. No one. It's almost biblical what he was able to do. I just want to say this. I saw a special last night. It's Andrew Womack Ministries. He's a pastor out in Colorado, actually. And Charlie was supposed to be doing a big session with him and his team on television last night. There was a big celebration that they were going to be celebrating the signing of the Constitution, and Charlie Kirk was going to be there, and they did this special for him last night in lieu of the fact that he couldn't be there. But man, what a tribute that they gave to him. And they talked about just the impact that this guy had made to America all around. It's this guy, I think, as much as you and I have been impacted by him and we've seen the impact, I don't think we've seen anything yet as far as what the real impact this man has made. I think we're going to find out, and I think his death, now that he's become a martyr, is supercharging this message. It's unfortunate that it has to happen that way.
it is.
Nobody would have chosen that, but the fact is, it did happen. We can't change that, and I think the good news is that those young people, especially that got this message, are never going to forget it. And I think that's part of the fact that we witnessed such a heinous thing happen that it solidifies his message in so many minds. And I especially believe that's with the young minds that he spoke to.
It's very interesting and thought provoking thoughts that you have there, Merle, and makes me think a lot of things. I want to say before I forget it that just to show the human behind Charlie Kirk, like Lisa and I were talking about. I've been watching these YouTube videos for years. I don't even remember how many years. Was it since COVID? That's kind of when he really, really came out. Maybe that's 5 years. Maybe I don't remember. But I've seen his maturation over time. I saw him in earlier videos. There's this thing about us. There's something that we should all know, recognize, and admit to. And we always want to point the finger, and this is part of the, let's tear down the walls type thing. Let's keep our hearts open, and let's know that we're all human beings and we're all fallible. And so there's a dopamine rush. Like when I watch Charlie's 1 minute shorts on YouTube, you're
Yes.
watching it for the dopamine hit. And that is, first of all, you're just like, wow, man, he's really smart. Like he can answer any question. But really, 75% of it is the dopamine hit of smacking down that dumb, cocky kid. And you know, if you recognize that, it's kind of like having a couple beers rather than drinking the bottle of vodka. Like, you know what? Drink responsibly. It's the
Yeah.
same thing with this kind of thing. Know what you're doing with yourself. Have a little fun, but don't take it too far. Anyways, in his early videos, I watched a much more brash and cocky Charlie Kirk, and who would give a cocky smile and instigate people on occasion. I do mean on occasion. He was always really good at what he did. But over the years, I also watched him do much, much less of that and do it in a much more humble way, with showing respect all along the way. And when they were not, he was showing them how to show respect in the
He
face of
really did a great job of that. And it was a learning process. Most of it, I believe, self-taught for him.
everything was
Uh,
self-taught for him.
and you know, so there was an evolution that he went through. But man, I'm telling you, when you watch how he handled people that were so angry, and he handled it with logic, with reason, and he threw in some humility and some levity as well, and it made it so enjoyable, and it made him so endearing. One of the last rallies that I saw him doing, I remember being stunned at the audience, because the audience that he had evolved over the years, where most were against him in the
Yeah.
beginning. In the end, more than half of the people in the audience were wearing MAGA hats.
Oh,
When somebody
yes.
would when he would dispatch somebody, the audience would go wild with glee. And it was like here's the thing that he did that's so wonderful, is that he changed people's hearts. He had an impact on people's hearts. And I think, you know, as I take a look at the political side of things, I would imagine, and I see this, that his political opponents are jealous of him because they don't have the ability to change hearts. They only have the ability to change the law, to coerce people to do what they want them to do, which really doesn't work. People are always going to do what they want to do. Case in point, it happened the other day with Charlie Kirk. The guy did what he wanted to do and he shot him. Yeah, that's going to happen. We live in a fallen world, but the point is that this man had the ability to change how people think by reason. I think that's a pretty cool thing, Barry, especially in light of our show,
Super
over
cool.
50, starting over, because really, one of our goals that we had coming in was reasoning. We didn't agree with on a multitude of levels, but we reasoned with each other. We didn't insult each other. We got facts, and we talked it out, and we talked about our feelings. We respected each other. That's America. That was
Should be.
what he was demonstrating, what the art of reason actually is. And there's nobody I've ever seen better at it. I know what I was going to say about that. Andrew Womack Ministries, is that he was comparing Charlie Kirk to a guy named Stephen in the Bible.
Mhm.
And Stephen had this art of reason. And it's right at the beginning of the church. Stephen was uh, one of the early disciples, and he was bringing so many people. He was changing hearts, is what he was doing. In the end, he was the first Christian martyr. Um, they couldn't out reason him, so they had to kill him. That's what happened.
Oh,
And
that's exactly the
he
same.
was being compared and celebrated as the same kind of guy. When
Same.
Stephen was martyred, it was the spark. It was the turning point for Christianity. It's what caused Christianity to spread throughout the world. They're comparing Charlie Kirk to this man in the Bible, that this is the turning point. It's an inflection point. It's a time where we have to put away these silly things that we've been holding on to as a country. And we've got to start to look at what this man was actually saying are the important things, the priorities for America. And we've got to pick up that torch that fell the other day, and we've got to just start moving on. We all need to be like Charlie Kirk. We all need to be influential. We all need to look at wrong and say, that's wrong. And here's what's right in a loving way. We need to take the example that that guy had. One last thing I'll say about the Christianity piece, well, probably not the last thing, but one more thing is that, you know, when Christ was crucified, Satan thought that he had beaten Christ, that he had won. And when Jesus died, what happened 50 days later was the Holy Spirit was released, and the Spirit of Christ went into every believer's heart. And so for Satan, rather than having to deal with one Jesus, now he has to deal with millions, maybe billions of Jesus. That is comforting to me, and it makes me laugh. But you know, it's the same thing with Charlie Kirk. There was one Charlie Kirk. Now, because of what happened, there's going to be a whole lot of people that are picking up that mantle and moving forward with it. I believe that.
I've had that thought and hope myself, for sure. He leaves a black hole of a void,
Mm,
which
mm,
needs
mm.
to be filled.
It needs to be.
And the beautiful thing about him, I gave a lot of thought to this too, is that he is at the top end, the old end of Gen Z, rocking the bottom end of the millennials.
That's
And
what he's doing.
the unfortunate thing about losing him is he was one of the few really big, inspiring forces of that generation. But maybe as a martyr, maybe he will be even more so. And because man, the devastation that we've seen done to this country by our last two generations, us included, I just always thinking we need to empower the younger people to turn the freaking Titanic.
You're right.
We're trying. We're trying to create the awareness and get it started. But boy, we really need to recruit the younger generation. And Charlie was just the guy. I hope classes are named after him. I hope statues are named after him. I hope entire movements are named after him. And in addition to the Christian movement, I hope all of the dozens of different nationalities and religions that are in this melting pot of a country are inspired as well to bring out their goodness, to open their hearts and continue the movement in the name
Yeah,
of peace and justice in
I
the American
totally.
way.
Oh man, I got goosebumps on that, Barry. And you know, and speaking of that, I think what I would like to see is I would like to see some eyes instead of being woke. I'd want you to wake up. Wake up to what's going on. You know, before Charlie went to the Utah Valley College where he was assassinated, there was a petition out there and 6,700 plus people signed it, asking for Charlie Kirk to be banned from coming to the college because of their policy of inclusivity. And I thought, what idiocracy. You have a policy of inclusivity, so you're going to exclude Charlie Kirk? Like, what, how does that even make sense? You're a college teaching young people. If I'm a parent and I see, wait a second, you're calling exclusivity inclusivity now?
Dude, they
Like,
do that. The far left does that with everything.
but I'm just saying, when are we going to wake up? You and I, we're awake. But what about there's so many people that are in a stupor? And this man was, again, back to we all saw the murder, the gross, heinous murder at the same time. Does this have an impact on people's brains so that they can wake up to the fact that it's these types of policies that caused that to happen? Um, Here's
There will
another.
be a percentage of people that wake up. I
I
have
hope
some
it's a
video
large
of that.
percentage.
I
You
can show
do?
you a
I
couple.
would love to see that
Okay,
actually. That
okay.
would give me hope actually.
Okay, that's good. Boy, there were so many things I was trying to remember I wanted to say. Well, hopefully they'll come back because, dude, this is just such a moving time. And you know what else? I got to say, I'm thankful for the way that this particular podcast is going. That We are leaning into the positive because what I was thinking is in this very same video podcast I'm about to show you some excerpts of, there are a lot of examples of those horrible people on TikTok celebrating. And I don't want to put that in my heart. I don't want to see any more of that, to tell you the truth.
I don't blame you. I don't want to see that
we
either.
are going to sound went off. I got sound now. So there. So we are going to see a little bit from the podcast. It's called The Unexplained Outlook. And very well done. I had to skip along through here to find different things, but let's start off. There's F-bombs dropped in here. We're all adults. We could deal with that.
People say the F word.
Hey, dude, tell me about the volume, if the volume is okay.
Have something new, but hey.
Too loud.
Yeah, okay, I thought so too. Let's try this.
Hey, luckily, people are catching on, and they're saying peace to the Democratic Party because of people like Ilhan Omar.
Well, let me just say it now. In 3 years, I am not voting for Democrats. Fuck off.
As a registered Democrat, all I have to say is the Charlie Kirk shooting just proves that we are the worst, man. My party is the fucking worst. I got people celebrating, hoping that he dies. Are we fucking for real right now? Where's the empathy? Where's the respect, man? It's disgusting. It's disgusting, truly. And the fact of the matter is this: he was a father. And whether or not I agree with his political opinions, all he truly wanted to do at the core was see this country be the best. And I can fucking respect that. And to see people just be blatantly disgusting.
Can you believe that just the clarity that this young man sees this, even though he's, typically at that age, a liberal Democrat?
Yes, I have seen a few other videos like this too, where these young people suddenly sound a lot like Charlie Kirk, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, they actually
isn't that great?
were. Yes.
Beyond the hope, the absolute. When I've been feeling such futility for months now.
I think, in the Bible it says that nothing is going to grow until a seed drops to the earth and dies. And by that, I mean, the seed, it's like a burial. It goes into the ground. And then the death causes the sprout to happen. And then it grows and all millions of seeds, thousands of seeds come out of that one seed. This is what's happened. The seed has been planted. We're already seeing the growth from these. This is what we need, is more of this. Mm-hmm. So think of the leadership that's going to come out of this.
Yeah.
These young people are going to see. They saw that somebody like Charlie Kirk, first off, doesn't need to go to college in order to be successful.
He stressed that all the time. He was very proud of it.
Look what they're doing in the colleges. They're turning people into these robots. Yeah. And look at what's happening. These people are going to see this and they're going to know we need to be able to use our own brains and use the value of critical thinking, so we can think for ourselves. We can reason for ourselves.
Dude,
that was inspiring to see that young kid right there.
I had a chilling, in a good way, thought. Charlie's company was called Turning Point.
Yes.
Is this the turning point?
It's the turning point, Barry. That's what I was saying earlier. This is the inflection point. This is where everything changes. Just like I talked about Stephen in the Bible. That's where everything changed. It's the turning point. I believe that God inspired Charlie Kirk to name his company Turning Point.
Wow, dude. Just a couple other things. I do have another video that is, I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for. I found like a video that had various things, but I want to talk about it, see if you want to, listen to, see what you want. I want to talk about, I could not find the exact video, the full video of Matthew Dowd killing his career. Do you know the video I'm talking about?
Matthew Dowd.
He, MSNBC host. I have a little bit of it on here. Let me explain it.
Yeah.
He immediately went on with Kathy.
Matthew Dowd.
Dowd. Okay, yeah, okay. Shows you how much I listen to watch MSNBC. But he went on and on saying that Charlie pushed hate speech. And I got to tell you, I have a very adverse reaction to hearing people talk about hate speech because I know that they're pushing censorship as soon as they say that, and they're really walking around. May want to throw out the evil word in there. He tossed around Charlie Kirk and hate speech over and over, and basically ended it with saying he brought it on himself because of the hate speech. What else? And he lost his job as a result, which I think is ironic because this is the very institution that brainwashed him, sacrificed him at the convenience.
Isn't that something?
Oh,
I would
God.
say there's no honor among thieves.
There you go. I think that's a good way to put it. Now, the other thing, so I will look through this video a little bit. I know Jesse Waters is going to come up. Lisa made me aware of the fact that she watches The Five and stuff, and I used to, and I just got sick of Fox because they just pushed the team thing, the divide too much. And it's kind of like I said about getting a dopamine rush when you're watching the Charlie Kirk shorts, because you do want to see him. It's
the best part.
Yeah, smack down the blue-haired kid with his dumb ideas.
Yeah, with the stupid idea.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's like social media being the Roman Colosseum, today's virtual Roman Colosseum, where we like to watch people die. Yeah. We like to watch people die, and we say it's them.
We live in a death culture.
Oh, we all do. We're humans. We get a rush off of this stuff. So
it's like when you see an accident on the freeway, you gotta look. What are you looking for? Blood. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah. So I do get turned off, but now I'll say first about Fox. They're on the right side of most things, and there's a lot of intelligence, especially if you compare it to everything else out there that calls themselves news. But they do know, they got psychologists doing studies on this. They know what they're doing. They do know that they need to stoke some team stuff in there to keep you hooked.
Remember, the news is really to sell advertising. I mean, if we just keep that in focus, then we'll realize that we could easily be manipulated by the news.
Very true. Here's my point: is Jesse Waters, who I've liked for a large part over his career.
I like him.
He's got his shtick. He plays the arrogant guy that know. And
look at the evolution. Remember, he was O'Reilly's flunky.
Oh, well, see, in my opinion, he's truly wanting to be the new Bill O'Reilly. And
that's what he is. He's totally imitating.
Yeah, and I can't stand that stuff because it's too much hatred. And he said, his words coming on the heels of all this was, we will get our revenge or avenge this. We will avenge this. Revenge sounds worse. And look, we're a society that loves revenge movies. There's a justice. They're feeling we want justice. And okay, Waters trying to be as provocative as he possibly can get away with. But my point to that is that is exactly what the kind of speech that we need to go ahead and know that you're getting a dopamine rush from it and get it. Go ahead, but know what you're doing. Have the 2 beers.
Such a good point.
Don't drink the bottle of vodka.
Now, look, Barry, you're bringing up such a great point here. I'm so glad you brought it up because this is something that I wanted to talk about, is that from a conservative point of view, from a Christian point of view, there's a trap that's been set here, whether on purpose or not. And the trap is for us as conservatives or as Christians to act in a violent, revengeful way, because then they can say, you see that those people, they're psychotic. You see, they blame you. Telling you, look how violent they are. This is why we need gun control. This is why we need to have monitors inside of these places to see what they're saying inside of their churches. This is what they want. They want us to act like them. And as a matter of fact, what's happened here over the last 2 days, rather than cities burning down, which is what we saw after Martin Luther King was assassinated, we're seeing people gathering at churches and praying and singing praise songs and becoming very hopeful. Boy, I bet that burns up the powers that be.
Yeah.
But I just want to warn people out there that are listening that now is not the time to take revenge. Now is the time to calm down.
Yeah.
This is, I think, if you're anything like me, you realize that our emotions can be dangerous, and the thoughts that flash up out of into your mind are probably thoughts that you might not want to just verbalize, right? You want to just
Right.
maybe
It's like, don't
let
send the
yourself
first
calm
draft of
down.
that email.
Right,
You know what I
right. Don't
mean?
get on social
Yeah.
media and just start
Oh,
spewing hatred.
yeah.
What the world needs now is love. We need to be loving each other. Now, that's a hard thing in the face of this thing. So you might need to, you know, lay low for a little while until your emotions tamp down. Remember, your emotions are the gateway for Satan to come in, eat your lunch, and pop the bag, right? That's what he's looking to be able to do right here.
That's
We don't
funny, dude.
we don't want that. What we want to be able to imitate
Your
what
mic is
Charlie was doing.
going. Just give your mic a minute. What I want to say is to capitalize on what you're saying is we need leadership, real leadership right now. And most of us are not leaders, but and there's various degrees of leadership within all of us. So dig down and say, where's the leader in me and what's the right thing to say? And I'm trying to segue back to you because your mic
Don't
goes
fall
away.
for don't fall for the trap. Don't fall into the trap is what I'm trying to say right now. There's a
There you
trap that's
go.
been laid.
That's right.
Don't go into it. This is the Elmer Fudd trap with the carrot underneath the thing. Don't do it. It's an easy trap, and this is the trap that's been set many, many, many times before, and many fools have fallen into it.
Dude,
This
good
is an
input.
important. This is the turning point, but one person can screw this all up.
It's very true.
I wanted to point something else out, Barry, and it's something that I saw that I was very concerned about, and it was in our halls of Congress the other day when Lauren
Oh,
Boebert
yes.
asked for a moment of prayer. This is before they knew that Charlie was dead. Um, and the reaction that came from the Democrat side of the House was startling and disgusting. And they booed, they hissed, they screamed, they sounded like a bunch of demons, actually. I mean, it was a terrible, terrible moment in our history. The Speaker of the House had to try to gavel people into attention, and that wasn't working. And it just points to the morality level that we have in our Congress. Like this man just got brutally slayed. I mean, they didn't know that he was dead at the time, but they had to have known what happened. And you can't. Okay, so maybe you don't want to pray, but a moment of silence, you couldn't do that. Who wouldn't
No,
do that if the shoe were on the other foot and something happened to one of their guys? God forbid. But to celebrate and dance or to refuse to have a moment of silence when this man had a wife and children like that, what kind of heart do you have to be like that? That is concerning to me, Barry.
it
Very
is.
concerning.
I could tell you that shows a maturity, a lack of maturity for sure, of our elected public officials. And I mean, we're hearing that all the time. I've heard that discussed from Tulsi Gabbard in detail about, my God, what a frat house. It's like a high school cafeteria, Congress. And recently, that guy that did all the fraud, the gay guy, we talked about, I cannot remember his name, but
There's so many. I
he
mean,
talked about it too. But what
narrowed
is
it down
going
to like
on there
50.
when what's her name, who I think is also a problem with maturity, Boebert,
AOC. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
a
But
gigantic,
still, it's a moment of
horrible
silence.
representative of the Republican Party, in my opinion. But she asked for a moment of silence for prayer. That's a trigger word to the left. Now, it's the fact that because they're anti-Christian, you believe a guy in the sky type thing, and the prayer thing. And so, but there's also, it appeals to the immaturity of them to make noises that shows you what a frat party that Congress
So
is.
disrespectful.
What you should do as an elected official, public official, you may be a total atheist, but you should still just silently look straight ahead.
Just have respect, right?
Just maturity, bare level of maturity.
I mean, you
That's
may
what's
not
missing.
have exactly. I mean, it just seems okay. So after that was over, immediately AOC gets interviewed coming out of it, and they're asking her about, gosh, what do you have to say about this? And she immediately goes to the gun control issue,
Of course.
blames the
Pea-brain.
Republicans, says it's because it's their fault this happened because they haven't come to the table with these gun control issues, and that's what this is. And it's like, here's what I thought about was that Charlie Kirk always gave me hope for the youth because I thought one day that guy could be the president. I mean, that's what I think
We
many
lost
people,
a huge leader there.
but on the other side, they look at AOC and they think that she's the hope of the future. And here she is standing basically on his bloody dead body, making political points. It's not the time to do that. It's the time to just say, you know what? It's not time to talk about politics. It's time to just think about this family just lost their father. Be a human being is what I have to say.
It's
about
time
this,
for
right?
people to give up the cartoons, and that's like AOC right there is living in a cartoon, and it's what I like sharing those couple of videos. I'm sure we can find endless similar examples of people awakening, like, whoa, that's a bridge too far for me.
That's a very hopeful.
I'm turning
hopeful
around.
thing.
And what was the other? Jeez, I had it. Oh, I wanted to say, you made me think about the one thing I forgot to mention about the Matthew Dowd. How do you say his last name?
Dowd, D-O-W-D.
Video is he started it off with, imagine the ridiculousness of this statement. He said, well, we don't know if that were people shooting guns in a celebratory manner or, dude, you think there are a bunch of Yosemite Sams out there in the audience that are anti-gun? Yeah, they just shoot.
we conservatives do that all the time.
But a leftist saying they're shooting guns in a celebratory manner. That was like the dumbest thing that somebody could possibly.
Yeah,
Five died this day at the local rally this time.
They got too happy over there.
But that's three. But that's three less tthan last week's rally. So we're doing better.
Well, they always make fun of Dick Cheney. Remember, he shot his friend hunting. So maybe there's a little bit of that going on.
Hey, do you want to just see it? You sound like you had something on.
I do have something, but go ahead. You got it up. Go.
Okay. Like I said, I kind of found this looking for that Matthew Dowd video at the last minute. And these are there was some random stuff I was skipping through. If you want to, let me just do this.
With a surprising take, let's take a look. We don't know who did this, but I do know it doesn't help the left, which makes me think, is it the left? I don't know. We don't know, but it feels professional. That's all it feels.
Let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah.
They did not.
Do you know they
have
somebody in custody as of this morning?
A third one?
Yes, they're feeling pretty confident about this one. They have a name.
Okay.
Tyler Robinson, 22 years old. They brought him into custody sometime very early this morning, late last night. It looks like he was turned in by his father. Who had seen videotape, and so this is a 22-year-old. Now we don't know for sure, but they are going off of surveillance tape that they have, and they have there he is right there. They have President Trump actually made the announcement very early this morning on Fox News that they had brought this person into custody. They have a so-called mountain of evidence on this guy, from video surveillance to the fact that they have found this bolt action 30-06
Yeah.
rifle with, they believe there's a ton of DNA and fingerprints on that, and also the ammunition. They also have he had a cell phone on him, and they're able to do tracking on cell phones and find out where you are, because they match that up with the path that he took to escape once he made the shooting. They're pretty sure this guy's the guy.
Wow, man. Well, I hope so. I thought it was interesting that Gutfeld was saying he thought it sounded professional, and it seemed. I mean, dude, this wasn't like, to me. It didn't. I don't know. Anything about shooting guns like that, but it didn't seem to me like the easiest shot to one perfect shot.
Well, here's the deal is that I do go to the shooting range, and I can tell you that shooting is a lot harder than it looks on TV. You know, like on TV, it's just like pow, pow, pow. Oh, you just shot three or four people right there, and you killed them.
Yeah.
It does not work. It is hard, especially with a pistol. It is very hard to hit that target.
But he had a hunting rifle.
Now that's a much easier to hit a target, but now you're talking about 150, 200 yards away. If you practice, you might be able to hit that target, but this is a pressure shot. It's kind of like when I used to play football. You can make these spectacular catches in practice, but in the game, under the lights, with the crowd cheering and everything, can you do it? It's a whole different ball game with the adrenaline.
You got one
the shaking,
shot.
and it was one shot in the neck. Now, that's a much harder target to hit. Who knows if he was actually aiming for his neck or not, but the symbolism there of hitting him right where his voice emanates from is very, very interesting.
Good point. Let's see what else
let's go. Yeah.
I would, like I said, skipping through.
Despite what his colleague said.
Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. What are we going to do about it? How much political violence are we going to tolerate? And everybody's accountable, and we're watching what they're saying on television and who's saying what. The politicians, the media, and all these rats out there. This can never happen again. It ends now.
Okay, that didn't end with the he will be avenged moment, but that's typical Waters wanting to be divisive. That's, kind of at the heart of all of this stuff, because it tickles our fancy. We want to talk tough and be like that, I think it's cathartic to get it out there. Realize, I said it before, but realize what you're doing. Go ahead, get it out there, yell at the top of your lungs, and then, as you said, just don't continue on with your first emotional reactions.
Well, here's something that I'm concerned about, Barry, is that are we going down the path that we've gone down so many times before, where we actually create more of these types of shooters by glorifying the one that we've caught?
Good question.
It's we have this guy Mangione, right? He killed the head of the healthcare insurance company, right? And this is very similar. If you really think about what happened here, although the guy from the insurance company was done kind of at night, not in front of a crowd, but still there was this escape into this guy was caught about 230 miles away from the college, and there was a manhunt, and they look like they're similar to the same age. And remember when we were talking about the school shooting a couple of weeks ago, and we were saying that these people have the commonality is that these people have been the perp. See how cool I am. The perpetrator. They study these other mass murders, and they glorify that in their mind, and then they go after. They want to imitate it. And like this girl, that the last one, the school shooting, said she wanted her room to become a museum and people to remember her name. It seems like the whole apparatus we have around the news with our politics and the way they demonize everybody, then the media takes a hold of it and glorifies it, and we're creating more of these entities out here every time. And are we doing it again?
Yeah.
And how do we stop this? How do we stop this from happening? Or it seems like what we're doing is creating more of this, and the wheels keep turning faster, and we keep creating more and more of these people faster and faster.
Maybe, Merle, but maybe also we are at the turning point, COVID being the first instigator of the huge awakening. And I would say
I agree with that.
huge.
Yeah.
And this maybe being just, God, I don't want to say it like this, but I'm thinking at a more spiritual level, what we needed in order to not fall backwards, but go forwards with that same awakening. And maybe, but you know,
I hear what you're saying. That makes
when
sense.
we look at our younger generations and we see the rise, drastic rise in suicide and gun violence and depression and all of that, no wonder they're inheriting ashes of what we promised them. And all of this, they need hope, they need inspiration, they need leadership. We need to turn it around. So we need everything that we have at our disposal to do something about what is going on with every losing aspect of our society. I don't know. I don't know if I said anything worthwhile there, but
you did. And I wanted to just say this, Barry, that from a Christian perspective, and Charlie certainly represented Jesus Christ very well here on earth, and he was constantly talking about it. He was one of the, I love Christian apologetics, where it's explaining the proofs of Christianity and why we should believe in it. The Bible itself says that we're not supposed to just have blind faith. That's ridiculous. The Bible actually says that we're supposed to have a ready defense for our faith. And I've heard Charlie Kirk defend the faith like nobody else can. The point that I was trying to make about that is lost now. But
hey, you know what? It'll come back. I want to show you this. Oh,
let me just say this: that the fact that he was so good at it, I don't think that's going away. I think that's going to resonate in people's minds forever, because we've taped all of this stuff and we can pull this up. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah. This is, as I recall, a tiny snippet from that Matthew Dowd career ending.
Oh, yeah.
Saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Oh, geez,
now,
infinitely.
Dowd has since been let go from the network, and MSNBC has issued an apology.
Authorities are now saying they have recovered a bolt-action rifle and that they have...
Yeah, and that's The Hill. That's a very leftist organization. I guess that's all I got from that. That young man right there was very impressive. There was something important that I didn't get to that I wanted to say. I did want to say, I was doing my research, getting ready for this, and I really wanted to make sure that the divide did not increase as a result on this show, and it certainly has not. So I'll do it. I was looking for proof that right-wing radicals were committing violence too. It's not just a left-wing thing. I found some, such as the drone bomb pilot in Nashville, the Boogaloo murders, and a clinic car bomb. But compared to the left, these cases were isolated. They were not well organized as right-wing conspiracy kind of things. So the scary conclusion is the left is normalizing violence, and this is getting to be an organized effort, and it's got to stop, man. Well, leftists, as we saw in those videos, are recognizing it. There's that.
Well, what I'm seeing here is that the left has moved into communism, and that under communism, it's actually a religion. And under that religion, the morality is based on whatever is expedient to maintain power and control over the people. And whether that is murdering somebody like Charlie Kirk, or kids in a school, or letting criminals out of jail to terrorize your neighborhood in order for us to be 100% reliant on them as our big brother provider, That's exactly what this has happened. And if you really listen to the rhetoric of the left, it is all about, we're going to take care of everything for you. We are going to pay for this and pay for that. And you don't have to, and don't think for yourself. Don't do research for yourself. Remember that during COVID?
yeah.
Research for yourself is dangerous. That is exactly the
Sometimes,
communist
yeah.
line. And so what's happened is both I'm sorry, but both the left and the right are moving towards communism. As the left keeps lurching further left, the right keeps moving the dial further to the left as well. And so what we have is, for the most part, you've got a two-party system that's acting as one.
Oh, wow,
You've
yeah.
got the one party that's driving into communism and the other party doing nothing to stop it. And
think that's a good
therefore,
way to
they're
put it.
all complicit. And I would say that everybody in Washington needs to take a good look in the mirror over what just happened with Charlie Kirk, because I would say, even if this person is the guilty one, this Tyler Robinson, and even if it was because of mental health issues or whatever that is, they still need to look at themselves in the mirror because of the rhetoric that they've released, because of what they've allowed to happen in social media, because of the educational system and how they've manipulated that system.
There are no
and
excuses for that.
and what they've done with gender identity and the brainwashing that they've put into them with critical race theory, all of these disgusting things that they've done, they're responsible for this. And we need to vote those people out. That's our only power, really. We need to be educated by what happened. This needs to be a turning point. We need to vote for the right people. We need to really vet these people. No more of this, oh, I'm not going to do this debate or whatever. What a ripoff to the public that is. This is why these people are able to get in, because we don't know who they are. We're just like idiots. We go into the voting booths is like, oh, I'm a Democrat. D. We're not doing research.
Yeah.
We need to end that. We need to end that. These people are in charge of our culture, and we're not even paying attention to who they are. That needs to stop.
Yeah, agreed. There's about three things that I wanted to get to. We're going to have to start wrapping up here soon. I did want to mention that when Lisa and I were talking about Charlie yesterday on our drive out to Patterson's, and his maturation, I was saying that I've seen him mature over the years, and she said, oh, yeah, she said she saw a recent example somebody aired, because if you want to, say, oh, well, he was just cocky and instigated things. She told me about this young man came up and said that these hedge fund companies, they shouldn't be allowed to be buying up the real estate and all that. And so Charlie did what Charlie would kind of predictably do, defend capitalism. And he's like, are you saying that that companies shouldn't be allowed to pursue? And dude, I'm paraphrasing this. I wanted to find the clip. I don't know. I'm going by our conversation. But I could see how this would unfold for real in a Charlie Kirk video. So Charlie says, you really don't think that these companies have the right to go ahead and pursue their interests in a capitalistic society? And this guy says, no, that's not what I mean at all. I think that they should be allowed to participate, but there should be guardrails that protect we, the people, so that we could pursue the American dream that they're buying up for themselves. And Kirk said, you know what? You got a really good point there.
I love that, because I was like, what?
Yeah, no, that's
good. I love that's a real man.
That's
somebody
a real
that can
man.
Admit that they're wrong. Yeah,
and you know what?
He's a great example of a real man.
There's been a lot of times on this show I wanted to just give a little plea to people in this volatile social society that we have now, is like to say to men, dig down, man, become more of a man.
Yeah, we got a real man problem here.
We need our leadership to come up. And what I mean by that is a maturity level. We need you're right, we do have a real man problem.
Be accountable. When you say you're going to do something, do it.
Yeah.
When you see somebody in need, lend a hand, be a good neighbor.
Hold the door.
Be nice.
Be nice.
Don't treat people with the golden rule. Treat people the way that you would want to be treated. And it's funny, earlier this week, Barry, I was frustrated at work because people weren't returning my call about something really important. And it's like, just, can you just, we're in a sales process. If you're not interested, just tell me and I'll leave you alone. But don't act like you're interested and then not call me back. That's torture. Don't torture me like that. Anyway, just, be considerate, be a good man. And Charlie Kirk, that's what I said. We all need to really look at that guy's life and start doing a lot of the things he was doing. Just being a good, decent person.
Inspire. Yeah. So I would say that the worst that could come out of all of this situation is the increase in polarization. And the increase in the me versus them team attitude. The further that divide gets, the more the radicals get pushed out to the opposite extremes. And radicals will always shoot people and cause problems and make your team look bad. The best that could come out of this is we could stop blaming, which is toxic in any relationship, in any social situation. You blame by knee-jerk reaction. But when you can get hold of your emotion, stop blaming and say, okay, what can I do?
Right.
That's where I'll
what
leave
can I
my
do?
thoughts with that.
I think that's very well said, Barry. And I think what I believe we're going to see is exactly what you just said. Is I think the fact that we all saw that and experienced that together, it's going to cause a lot of people to say exactly what you just said is, what can I do? I've had enough.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, whether you're on the left or the right, this man was doing something that obviously it doesn't matter what side you're on. You could see that his heart was to help, and evil had its way. And when that happens, people are inspired to change that. And I really hope that happens. Now, I've seen it before where 9/11 happened and we all came together for a period of time, but then something happened. And it was like, I remember that month was one of the greatest American months of my life. And then the patriotism, the beauty, the come together, the dividing or the dissolving of divider lines.
You know what happened? Opportunity rang, and we should take heed on this right now.
I agree.
9/11 was like, don't let any good catastrophe go to waste. We got the Patriot Act, and we got weapons of mass destruction in a war that a 20-year war we did not need whatsoever.
And the money that we spent caused the massive inflation that's happened.
Yeah.
And now we're in the predicament that Charlie Kirk actually explained about Gen Z 3 weeks ago on Tucker Carlson. Hey, if you get a chance to watch that, do so, because that is extremely profound. It really opened my eyes to the plight of Gen Z.
Yes.
And when you understand the plight, then you can devise a way out. And I really believe that Charlie Kirk was a light for people to follow out of the pit that generation is in. And I also believe that he served his mission. Everything he said is recorded. And I believe that now that he has been assassinated the way that he was, that message is going to be supercharged, and these people are going to watch it, and it's gonna change even more lives, maybe even more than ever were changed during his life mission. That really, it's just now getting started. It is a turning point, Barry. It's so ironic that he named that company that, but I think it was by design.
Oh God,
I can get some joy out of this message that we're talking about here today. I'm glad, because I tell you, Barry, this has affected me a lot more deeply than I ever imagined that it would. And I bet you a lot of people in this country would say the same thing.
I certainly, totally agree with you. Me as well, absolutely, profoundly. Never would have considered, hey, how would you feel if Charlie Kirk got shot? Never would have thought of that. And even if I did, I wouldn't be prepared for how I really feel about it.
Well, it also made me think about, well, what if this happened to somebody on the left? How would I feel about this whole thing? And I really had to examine that.
I thought about that a lot.
And like, what if God forbid, if this were to happen to somebody like Barack Obama, I would be devastated. I don't agree with him or his politics. I don't even like him, but he was the president of the United States. He's a father. He's a husband. It would be devastating if something like that were to, then imagine the divide that would happen in this country and the hatred. It would be terrible. How could anybody cheer for something like that, no matter who it happened to?
I thought I used in my head, to be honest, I used Nancy Pelosi as an example. That was, I think, the person I despise most in this, that came to my mind.
Right.
And I think that my natural reaction would be, I don't think the world's worse off now. And I'm just being completely honest. But I wouldn't be going online and whooping it up by any means, in no way, shape, or form. And I wouldn't even be saying to my friends, anything more. That the worst I would say is, I don't think the world's any worse off. And that's a terrible thing to say. I'm just admitting it. It is a terrible thing to say. But I think she's a terrible person.
Well, the other thing, too, is when these kinds of things happen, our emotions run wild. But when we think about things like this logically, something like that happening could lead to other good people being eliminated. And this is the problem. This is how we have to think about this, is that, it's going back to Charlie Kirk. The law doesn't change people's hearts. Even consequence for terrible things like this don't change people's hearts. What Charlie Kirk was doing is what changes people's hearts.
Yeah.
And so in a situation like that, we would want to use that to change people's hearts too. That rather than this happening again, maybe we should take a look at what Nancy Pelosi stood for and temper that down so that something like that doesn't happen again. We went the wrong way on this. Maybe we need to have laws inside of our Congress for insider trading, right? Because people like
that's exactly my point.
Maybe that would come out of this. I'm not suggesting something like that happened.
No, I want to make a point though on that, is because I really try to be brutally honest on this show and authentic.
Yes.
Stick my neck out there. And I think I just did there, because I could be heavily ridiculed for not giving a politically correct answer about how I would shed a tear for Nancy Pelosi. My real point to that is, if you could be really honest with yourself about who you dislike most in this world, like maybe as far as these politics go or whatever it is, and if they passed away, what you would really be saying on the inside. My real point is, then you can have a little bit of empathy of what a short jump it is to get to that shooter, to activate that shooter.
Totally got it.
We all have it in us if we're just taking a couple steps more in that direction. So you got to recognize
I totally agree.
that.
No, when there by the grace of God go I. I mean, we could have all been like that shooter. One story I heard recently was when Ronald Reagan got shot, and how as he was recovering in his bed, that his political enemies showed up at the hospital, and they had
with pillows in their hand.
No, they're just political. The point was that they were political enemies, not personal enemies. So they came and they sat at the bedside of Ronald Reagan, and they laughed and they joked, and they truly respected him. But then when he got back into office, it was game on again. And that's how politics used to be. It's not like that anymore. They have personal vendettas against each other, or so it seems. And they truly dislike each other. It's not a political thing. And
there's more emotion and less character.
Yes, that's so well said. And that is, so the maturity level has gone plummeted to the lowest level.
Yeah.
That's
how
what has
about,
to change.
I really got to get going. Let's lighten up and get out of here. I want to show you some videos of Patterson's Fruit Farm on the way out. I know most of you are listening. We'll just talk about, it's just such a quaint place. Oh, I
love places like this.
Yeah, there's no need for all that. But,
it's all like that. You got fall in the air and everything. Yeah, this is a good time of year.
That's a really quick pan of the outside of the place.
That was good.
And let's go for another one.
I love the smell of funnel cakes.
Oh, dude, it smells really good there. Got these. Check this out.
Beautiful.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, when we went there, I just want to see where this started. I wasn't watching. So we got our corn stalks. We get our holiday decorations for the front porch here. There's somebody I know there. And all the pumpkins. And let's see, is this the one that I showed? Yes. Here's the inside. It's so quaint.
Can't see it anymore.
Oh, you can't see this?
It went away.
Okay, let's. That's kind of weird. Okay, now you can.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And I look at how fast I pan, but I got to get these prices. Look at those prices. Half a peck. I'm not sure. A peck is $37. A half peck, whatever. These apples is, and I don't know what a peck is. P-E-C-K.
I forgot what a peck is. Yeah.
But $23. I know that we got a bag of apples a couple of years ago, and they were $11, a small bag.
Oh.
I mean, these are expensive here, but we go for the experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got these 2 donuts. Not a big sweets guy, but everything here is homemade, fresh from the farm stuff. I got a blueberry donut and a apple, like
fritter.
Yeah, donut. But yeah. I mean, oh my God, were they good? They weren't just like normally you get something like that. It's store bought or whatever. Oh, you taste the sugar, and no, man, this was really, really good. Let's see. Can you still see?
No, I see you.
Oh, okay. Let's try this again. Just some quick ones because they're just beautiful, and I want to encourage people to do something.
Oh, look at that.
Do something fall.
Beautiful.
Do some fall stuff.
Fall in your area is so spectacular.
Well,
is that a golf course or what are we looking at?
It's their property.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So that we saw a wedding up here a couple of years ago.
Nice.
And when this is fall, dude, so this is a big like rolling hill meadow of different kinds of trees and stuff. And it's just absolutely beautiful. This is us going down there just a wee bit. And so a website. Oh, I was talking to Lisa about something. I don't know. Can you see this?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Hear the wind. It is gorgeous. So when we go there in the fall, when the leaves are turning, it's just unbelievable. So we went early this year. And again, my point is I wanted to lighten this up. I want to encourage you guys to do something with your season, with your fall season. I love the change of seasons. It's a new opportunity for something different. And
God, we're having to change the season over here now too. It's actually cooling down here.
Oh, that's right.
It's below 100. It does get up to 102 or something like that. But here's what I'm talking about. Like this morning, as I was getting ready, I could go out on the porch and sit out there and prepare. And it was, I don't know what the temperature was, but I wasn't sweating, and it was really nice. And I have like this little roadrunner that decided to move into one of my bushes and in the backyard, and he makes this cute little noise. And he's tiny. They do a thing with their beaks where they clack their beaks, like it just goes like that, and they do it like 50 times in like a second. And anyhow, I want that roadrunner to be my roadrunner. So I've been.
Do you name him? All you gotta do is name him.
Yeah,
he's yours.
Rhoda. Rhoda the
Dude,
roadrunner.
I remember last year at this time we did a spot on train rides you can take, and that's the first I learned that you could go into northern Arizona and take a train ride and get the full fall effect.
I remember because Arizona has so many different climates here. And when you start going north, you start going into the high country, and it's all like the terrain totally changes. In fact,
You
Anne Marie
guys
and I
should
love
make.
to go to a place called Prescott, Arizona. And,
I feel
and
like
this
I
is
heard
our
of it.
getaway, and we'll stay there for a weekend or whatever. But it's so nice and cool. It's up 5,000 feet. So while it's 115 here, it's like 82 there. And it's so nice, and it's pine trees everywhere. You're up in the
You should
mountains.
do a
It's like a
fall
totally different
jaunt.
state. I think you're
Yeah.
right. That sounds
Yeah,
great.
yeah. With that, we got to get going. And Mark's got a new AI tip coming up. I've been really liking these, so looking forward to it. Go to over50startingover.com and sign up there. Get this to your email box as it happens. All right, have a good week.
Well, hello there, Over 50 Starting Over friends. Mark Tennant back with you with your AI tip of the week. We continue our series on which AI platform works best for you. And this week, it's Google Gemini. So there are a lot of alternatives to ChatGPT, like Google Gemini. And like an LLM, a large language model like ChatGPT, this model can engage in natural conversation, it can answer questions, it can draft content, and it's great for brainstorming. But Gemini is so much more than that. It offers its own unique capabilities that other large language models simply cannot do. And the one big thing, it's called multimodal file analysis. Okay, Mark, what in the hell does that mean? Well, it's very good at analyzing uploaded files because it handles all multi-types of input. It can handle text, it can handle images, it can handle video, audio, all at the same time. Where with the other language models, they simply just can't do that. Gemini integrates Google, their workspace, with their own products, all of their products. So there's docs, there's sheets, there's vids, there's forms, there's slides, all at the same time. And one of the big features of Gemini is the deep research feature. So you can identify a topic, you can write the prompt. And by the way, we're going to have an AI tip on how to write prompts for deep research because it's a little bit different here in the coming weeks. But it can scan hundreds of web pages along with the files that you upload, and it can generate detailed multi-page research reports that are just unbelievable what it can produce. Deep research. It combines online findings with your uploaded files, as I said, and the capabilities for much richer insights in the reports, and the output is just fantastic. Gemini Gems, it's your custom AI assistant that you can create within Gemini. And it's sort of like ChatGPT's GPTs, the custom GPTs. Gemini can act as your own personalized learning coach, a writing assistant, project manager, and just about anything. Career coach, language tutor. You don't even need any of those language courses anymore. AI can teach you that. So let's have a look at Gemini. And here we are inside of Gemini. And by the way, I wanted to tell you that with all of the platforms I demonstrate here, I show you the paid versions of these. It's $20 a month for this, and this is what I pay for it. And I use Gemini quite a bit as I do the other chat platforms. And I wanted to show you the uniqueness and just the robustness of each one of these platforms. So we're showing you the paid versions. We're going to start up here at the top. This drop down, it says 2.5 Flash or 2.5 Pro here. These are the two models you can choose from to work with. The fast all-around help 2.5 Flash probably is the best one to use for most everyday topics. And then they have the reasoning, math, and code model, which is the 2.5 Pro. Starting up here in the left corner, Storybook, which is really a cool feature. You can create customized picture books for children or adults. And I actually know a lot of parents that I've met over the last year and a half, 2 years. They actually use AI to create stories for their children. They make up characters and they create running stories. So their child or children have something to look forward to almost every night when they go to bed, a new story, and all courtesy of AI. Pretty neat and very robust coding partner here in Google Gemini. And you can level up your coding skills here. You can debug code, create things, projects, and you can learn as you go. It's a pretty cool feature. And this is Gemini Gems. And if you've ever heard me talk about ChatGPT GPTs, they're custom made, their own little large language models, their own chats where you can actually use your own files, your own material, and you can create workspaces, and you can create storybooks here as well, a coding part, a brainstorm, a career guide. And as we mentioned at the outset, it could be a health and wellness expert, advisor to you, financial advisor, just about anything. And these are gems from Gemini. And if you want to start a chat, as I said, it looks pretty much the same, just like any other chatbot out there. Select this, add files, and you can see you can upload files from your computer. You can add files from Google Drive, and you can import code even. And there's the different tools that you can work with. Here's the deep research feature. You can create videos with Veo, which is a very robust text-to-video platform from Gemini. Now, Google's new text-to-image generator is called Nano Banana, and it is the most robust, the most unique, the most advanced model when it comes to image design. Try it out. It's pretty cool. And once again, try the free versions of this because a lot of these features are in the free version, and it is gemini.google.com where you can see that. Canvas, this is an interactive board, if you will, that you can talk back and forth to the AI and create projects. You can write code, and in real time, you can see how you're interacting with the AI through the Canvas feature in Gemini. And then guided learning, which essentially is a study area. You can give it a topic, you can give it some material, like a book you're reading or whatever it is you're studying or whatever topic you're interested in. And it can actually give you a guided tour through learning that material. Try it, gemini.google.com. So to wrap up, Google Gemini seamlessly integrates your own files with online data for much richer results. It boosts your productivity with intuitive tools for writing, studying, and task management. It offers custom AI assistants, Google Gems, for highly personalized supports, and it delivers fast, in-depth research and tailored to your needs through Google Research, deep research. So Gemini, extremely versatile. It does a lot. Try it. Use the free version today, gemini.google.com, and then ask Google or Perplexity, Gemini or ChatGPT, what should I do? And I want to hear what you've got. How do you like Gemini? Is it better than ChatGPT? Let me know. Mark@marktenet.net. And on the socials, I'm on LinkedIn at Mark E. Tenet. So next AI tip of the week, it will be Anthropic's Claude. And I can't wait to show you that. And until then, take care. Have a great week.